And I know a lot of people increasingly who see science as such a sacred canopy, not in the sense of Jehovah, but as their primary reference point, and where they feel safe and secure is in talking about science and thinking science. And is that true for our scientists or not? Is science a sacred canopy at all? For anybody in here? It is for me. I like science. I'm not trashing science. I'm a big fan of science. I just think it has a long way to go to absorb the old religions. And now, let's just do a quick run through on these, and then let's see the diversity of religions on the planet. First, we can divide them very eerily into these two categories, where in the East, India, China is what we're talking about, and places in between, we don't see sin like we do in the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, based on divine command and a promise that someday God will come and make everything nice, a linear time history with Genesis at the beginning and then the apocalypse at the end. The Eastern ones see cyclical history, infinite time, space, and reincarnation rather than a final judgment. You just get sent to the birth you're supposed to get based on your current actions. And so if we look at these, this is really what I think scientific atheist materialists, and I'm probably stereotyping them terribly, think is going on with the science-religion debate. They're really, I think, arguing with the God of Abraham and his existence. But if we think even about that, if we think not so, like in this story here, some will say, boy, what kind of a God is that going to make Abraham kill his kid? Must be a primitive God. But does Judaism just stay at this Bronze Age kind of level? No, it evolves until Jehovah is an abstract principle governing all of the universe. With Christianity, which you know, divine, I mean, in that sense, I think we can all say there are laws, like Newton's laws. Law is real in the world. Judaism is not wiped out for that. And with Christianity, we've got the sacrificial offering of a human for a cause, a person representing pure love, and that would be Jesus. Now, you know, did he rise from the tomb and all these things? I don't know, but that's not really why he's so famous. It's really because of his inclusion of the lower classes, like you were mentioning, sir. So that's the initial externalization of his message that welcomed all the low classes into this movement, and it becomes a sacred canopy for them. Is his self-sacrificial love gone with science? Is it meaningless then with science? Not talking about the tomb and so forth. Islam, similar to Judaism, has a very abstract notion of Allah, which doesn't mean God, it means the God. There is one principle closer than your jugular vein, and yet utterly non-human and transcending the whole universe. So Islam, does that disappear? Islamic social justice motifs, people wonder how it spread so fast. Similarly to Christianity, it appealed to the lower classes and the slaves. So these are social movements. Are those values rendered null by science? Or Krishna, again, who is the lover? And I knew a woman once who said, Krishna is my heartmost lover. An intimate feeling that Krishna devotees have that I don't understand personally, but I know they have that. And he's the play of the universe and the ultimate family man, having 18,000 wives, believe it or not, and 180,000 children. Whoa, he was busy, you know. And Hinduism's very sensual and playful and very opposite to the Abrahamic style. Rama's sort of the butch version of Krishna. Krishna's the lady man. Rama will save his wife from the demon king. Hinduism loves the idea of being protected from demons. And Shiva here, with his elephant-headed son Ganesh, he cut the original head off because Ganesh would not let him into his wife's bath chamber. And then Shiva's wives, unlike Krishna's, are not docile and obedient. They can destroy the universe. And so she's about to do it until Shiva handily glues an elephant head on the boy, brings him back to life. So just the idea, whether we believe these or not, the idea of a protective deity lives on for Hindus and is fun, like Kali here. This is the most vicious, well, most, what do we say? I'm going to say the most ferocious woman in all of religious history. Now, she's a goddess, so she is divine, and she's just killed a bunch of demons. She even has the creator God's head in her hand, and now she's dominating even Shiva. With the Shiva Shakti traditions, you get an idea of a balance of male and female energy and sexual union as a path to divine bliss. So, can we argue with that being gone with science? Might not be your cup of tea. And now we're moving east. We're moving further east, and we're getting less and less God, not more and more God. The Jains say there's a life essence that reincarnates, but there is no God. You're not obeying anyone. Practicing non-harming and no attachment leads to happiness. I don't see that disappearing. And now we're getting into almost real science, I think, with the Buddha. He talks about, well, a theory of relativity. Not quite Einstein's E equals mc squared biz, but definitely the idea that nothing exists apart from its relationship to every other thing, and that means there can be no God external to reality, and there can be no individual soul either. So what do we call Buddhism? If we define God in the classic sense, it's not a religion then. It's science. Even though we have, strange things in that religion, like we found with medieval Catholicism and Christianity. And then China synthesizes these religions. Land of three religions. By the 4th century, Taoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism all coexist happily. And you can ask most people there, are you Taoist? Yeah, because it's my body. And my body does natural things I'm not in charge of. Are you Confucian? Well, I go to school and I have a job. And that's what Confucius is all about. Social duty, social ethics, social structure. Does that disappear with science, or does it even conflict with science? I really don't think so. And that's where, with these Asian guys, the confluence of yin and yang, and then this organization, let me tell you, it's functioning in China, so it's not going anywhere, and it runs that economy very efficiently with this, granted, hierarchical system, but it functions. And